want to know who you are, maybe I'll try to start to do what's on my mind. I think I found a reason for why I turn up here.
God damn it!
Every time you're close to me and every time you're near, and every time you talk to me I seem to realize that you are what I really want. I feel it deep inside, so will you talk to me? Don't you think that we could be something more than colleagues? Maybe sometime when you're free I can show you why.
The PlayStation Eye, an improved version of the PS2's iToy, was one of Sony PlayStation 3's gimmicks. I mean selling points. A demonstration of what the PlayStation Eye could do was the Eye of Judgement, a card game where the cards are read by the eye and visualized on screen. Reminiscent of a popular child's anime Yu-Gi-Oh!, where the cards played are visually represented, making the game essentially come to life in front of you, making the game look a lot more interesting than a bunch of geeky kids sat around comparing cards. It doesn't matter how you look at it though, this is a trading card game, but let's give it a look anyway. So when you first start playing the game, you're given a million camera testing screens to make sure you get everything in the right place and so it works at maximum performance. So you'll be shown how to position the camera and given a light test to make sure the camera can read the cards. However, these specifications have to be absolutely fucking perfect, otherwise you're gonna have no chance. It took a lot of time to find a room with enough light to play this game, so I usually end up playing during the day for ease. If the conditions aren't right, you can't play it. Fucking fail, eh? When it is working, you can obviously play the game, but first you have to familiarise yourself with the rules of the game, which are, well, lengthy, to say the least. And at times the instructions were a bit disjointed and it didn't cover some of the gameplay mechanics, but it's only a basic guide. The best way to learn is to play. You can either play against the CPU or subject a friend to learning the rules to play with them. Now, before looking at the game, let's look at what you witnessed at the start. The goddamn peripherals. Now there's the game and the camera as expected, and then there's the mat and the stand, which you all need to play. Now to be fair, it doesn't take up much space, but it's just a lot for one game. Games these days just have far too many plastic peripherals. With the cards in mind, I gotta say I was impressed by the number available. It allows the game to become very customizable like any other trading card game, but it also makes it a game of contest of who has enough money to waste on getting the good cards. Now let's look at the actual game. So first, here's an extremely basic overview of the rules. Each player has 30 cards which consist of monsters and spells. Each player takes turns to draw cards and spend mana to place these cards on the field in an attempt to occupy 5 of the spaces, which allows you to win. A space can only be occupied by a monster that will defend that space. Monsters also attack when placed or summoned to do damage to the opposing monsters, or your own if you're not careful, and so set the other player's progress back. Spells on the other hand simply affect the gameplay in various ways, such as being able to gain more mana or something to that extent.
Computer. Draw card. Mana charge. Mana release.
With me so far? Good, because it's about to get more complicated. The field where you play is set into elements. Monsters with the same element will gain bonuses on these fields. However, each element is weak to another, and so placing a monster on an opposite field will give the monster penalties. Spells, however, are not affected by the fields. This is the very basic grasp of the game. With the rules being fairly complex, it's a steep learning curve, as at first your main opponent will probably be the CPU, which is ruthless! I mean, god damn! Even on the easiest setting when I first started to play it tore me a new arsehole every time. I always thought Ninja Gaiden was bad for beating into you, but shit, this game will smash your patience and spit on the remains.
Error loses. Error loses. Error loses.
Once you've learned the game though, you become much more aware of the rules and you've probably picked up a few strategies of your own along the way to help you. Now, playing with another person is easy to do offline, as the other person doesn't even need to own the game. Although you probably end up falling out with each other over you, two of you just being absolute twats to each other. If you want to take the game up a notch, then there's a bunch of trophies to earn, which will have you win certain decks under certain difficulties and conditions. such as winning in under 10 turns. And you can take the game online, for free, as this is on PS3, and find someone to play across the globe. However, well, yeah. Just look and you get the idea. Ever get the feeling that you might be the only person playing a game? The game's soundtrack consists of 1 or 2 songs as far as I'm aware, so be prepared to hear the same song loop many times. However, the song isn't all that bad. It's quite a heavy, aggressive song, where you can hear blasting guitars and double bass pedals. But the song's repetitive is nothing to how goddamn annoying the commentary and monster speeches are. The commentary makes me laugh sometimes because it's such an aggressive voice for something so trivial. You'll place a monster and the commentary will shout its name at you, scaring the living shit out of you. Before I talk about what the monsters say, however, let's talk about the backstory and the setting of the game first. The game was designed by Wizards of the Coast, famous for their trading card game Magic the Gathering, which for anyone who doesn't know has one of the most stereotypical fantasy names for everything. It's something you'll find in anything fantasy based that involves realms or elves or any other shit like that. And it's not that there's anything wrong with it, but it just sounds so cheesy. I have Judgement certainly has a lot of backstory that will happily fulfill anyone that has the desire or interest to learn the game's setting, which is a nice feature nonetheless.
I challenge you.
However, when the in-game characters shout out the most unemotional fantasy-based lines ever, it just makes me, you know... I mean, God, the voice actors must be so underpaid or something because they all sound so uninterested. Moving on to how the game looks. Well, it looks good. Simple as. I really don't have anything constructive to say about it. The sprites are well detailed and the battle animations are cool. However, the battle animations are a little too long. It's nice first time round to see a massive robot pummel something, but it doubles the time it takes to play a game. It's like the summons in Final Fantasy, or the Bankais in Bleach. It's nice to watch once, but after that it gets repetitive and lengthy.
Final verdict? It's a decent game. Well worth getting. So I've given it a 7 out of 10. As for middle fingers, however, it gets 4. Why so many? Well, when you spend an hour trying to set the game up and find enough light, and then you have to listen to an annoying commentary and get your ass kicked into the dirt by the CPU, it just makes me